Hello guys, my name is Victor Tor, and today I want to share with you a nice and a hot technology. Today I will tell you or teach you about the location services RTLS. What I want to share is an introductory glimpse. It's only high level information, but that I found pretty important for you to know or for you to know if you are doing some first steps in the location service world. So today I've got this small agenda, divided only in one part, getting to know RTLS, knowing the parts of our RTLS, and choosing the right RTLS. In the next slides, you will see there are several ways and several technologies involved with RTLS that can be used in order to make the closest precision as possible. So a little bit the extra mile, but that's it. It's pretty short agenda for today. So in the part one is getting your beating in RTLS. RTLS stands for real-time location system, and as the name implies, it's all about location. Knowing the location of something or someone is pretty important and makes the decision makers to make a fundamental decisions. Location information, we can use the location information in several ways. And in here, some examples. As you will see in this presentation, in these slides, there are a lot of examples where we can use RTLS or location services. For example, if I have information of the location, I can enhance my process in my company. How? Okay, first of all, as the example implies, where are the assets available? Do I have the correct assets available for my customers, or do I need to purchase mass for my inventory, for example? I need to locate a student where the student is. Let's say that it's a healthcare hospital or something where it's usually the equipment is shared. What would happen if the last nurse left the device or the equipment behind in some of the rooms? Another nurse or other doctor is looking for this device. It's going to be expense a lot of time looking for the device, because that is, in this example, this kind of device that normally is small. So if I have this kind of technology in place, I can be able to find this shared equipment. Disasters, sadly but true, they happen, and with this kind of technology, we can help the paramedics to help us to locate people in natural disaster even faster. And this is only to name a few. To name a few examples, we will see a little bit, a lot of, not a little bit, a lot of more examples in this presentation. Today it's possible to locate anything or anyone in real time. It's possible. It's expensive. Well, it depends. It depends what you call expensive, but for me, there are solutions that are so expensive, but if the information is worth it, I mean, you know my point. One specific question, what I want to use to get started is, how do I achieve location? You will achieve location mainly by using tags attach or affix to people or to objects. So, what is an RTLS? RTLS, and I quote, a real-time location system. RTLS enables you to find, track, manage, analyze, leverage, and otherwise use information regarding where assets or people are located. Imagine that you work in any of these verticals and you need to know the location of a specific people or a specific object within your company. The most well-known deployers of RTLS technology are these 6 guys: It does not mean by any sense that they are the only ones, but they are the most famous: retailers, military, law enforcement, emergency, first response, healthcare, and education. They are normally where you will find RTLS already deployed. Pretty weird, pretty strange that one of these guys do not does not have a solution like RTLS in place. So in a big scale, in a high level, uh, how RTLS works. Okay, RTLS works in divided or using 5 pieces of information, or 5 the follows a structure. The way it works is pretty much I told you already that is based on tags. Tags are very important in any of the RTLS solutions. Location sensors to locate the tags, obviously. Location engine to concentrate the information and to share it with the middleware in which we're going to work internally with the information and will pass it to the application for the user to consult it. User, customer, decision maker, it depends what kind of information is, but the idea is I will have the information, locate the information, send it to the location sensor, or the location sensor will ask for it. We will pass the information to the location engine, to the middleware, and then finally to the application. An example of this, because this is kind of abstract. So we have this specific room in which I have a specific tag labeled with number 1 in a car on wheels. There's a computer in there, and this is my object that I want to locate. In this specific case, as an example, I have the number 2 that is labeled as location sensor. Let's say that is a Wi-Fi AP, and then we have a location engine software, and then we have our middleware and application software that in this example is located in the same server, but not necessarily has to be this way. It could be both two servers. So the idea in here is that I have the tag. This tag is going to send the information, or the location sensor will send me or sends the tag, collect the information, send the information to the location engine. The trick in here that is not reflected in this image is that the location engine will receive exactly similar information, I might say, from several sensors. So it will collect the information from several vendors, and using one technique or another that we will see in other slide, will calculate the position of the tag and the object, because the tag is affixed to the object. And this information is going to be sent to the middleware and finally to the application software, where the decision maker can use it for whatever the reason is. So we have this part of trying to explain a little bit more how it works, the RTLS. We have to take into account that RTLS is continuously monitoring the tag locations. And when I say continuously, could be frequent or not that frequent. And that it means, and we will see in another slide, that could be every 1 second or 1 minute. As you might imagine, there are a lot of difference between those numbers. Then the RTLS passes all of information to the application. RTLS is a technology, and there are several systems that can deploy or can help to deploy the technology. In this case, it's more granular, it's high scale, not high scale, high level. But the thing is, RTLS, or I should say the location sensor, will get the information or receive the information, pass it to the location engine. The location engine send it to the middleware, and middleware passes all the information to an application for the user to make use of the data. Okay. Where can I fix or attach these tags. Okay, whenever I want, practically. But here are more examples: badges, wristbands, pendants, ankle bands, belt clips, or even in something that the user already has, as an example, a mobile phone. Okay, I have my tag. I affix my tag to an object. In the case of RTLS, and depending on the technology, these tags are more intelligent tags. Not all of them, but some of them, and obviously, as more intelligent they are, they cost much more. But in here, again, our examples, push buttons. For example, I will press the button and receive information. In a museum, I stand by a picture, press the button or push the button, and start listening the history of who the artist was, who painted it, in what year, whatever example. Another option could be voice to voice. I can call someone in the east wing to the west wing. Where are you? Buzzer, LEDs, LCD screens, vibrators. There are options. Is for example the vibrator. You go to the fast food in the airport and order for an hamburger, and they give you this object that has a tag embedded. So as soon as your hamburger is ready, the devices start, vibrating, and this lets you know that your food is ready. So you go to the with the girl or with the boy that sold you the hamburger, and you are good to go. And another examples are sensors, are connectors, and writable memory. There are um, tags that are pretty intelligent somehow to keep the information and to share the information with a third party, or with uh, could be a third party, or could be the same vendor. They are able to retain the information, to share it via the location engine, and to the middleware, and finally to the user. So how can I locate people or objects? Well, there are three ways to locate them: absolute position, symbolic position, and relative position. Absolute position is this guy is in the room, or this object is in the room. Symbolic position is probably is close to the building, and relative position is it's pretty much the same. You were here last time I see you, but probably he's in the middle of the two buildings. Depending of what kind of a location, the accuracy of the location you need, you will use one system or the other. I call them system because I don't want to create confusion. RTLS is a technology, and systems like, in this case, Wi-Fi, Zigbee, Bluetooth, ultrasound. I'm calling their technology as well, but in this case, I will call them system in order to differentiate between one and the other. So, what kind of reporting I can do, speaking the location? Well, present space. Is a people or is a person? Is this guy in the building? Located at room 11, is in this room, is in the next room, is in the room of floor 2. At sub room level, is in the right or is in the left. Is locating or is passing a choke point. Choke point is, for example, when you access a room or go out from a room, that is called choke point. So if you go or if you come in, RTLS is able to say, okay, he's going away or he's entering this room by association. For example, if you connect your device to a specific IP, and your device is associated to this IP, RTLS could say this device is in a specific IP, for example, or precisely location. As more accurate you need the location, the price or the cost of the information obviously increases. So underlying technologies. Probably this is a good name for it as well. What are the underlying technologies in order to deploy an RTLS? Okay, we have some in here, and we have more in a later slide. Light, Bluetooth, RFID, Wi-Fi, GPS, ultrasound, Zigbee, camera, 5G, infrared. The list continues. So, why do I need an RTLS? Well, whether you are talking about businesses, consumers, or public sector markets, the need for an RTLS is arising. To have the right information at the right moment in the specific location today more than ever, it does not matter the vertical, it's pretty important. And that is the reason why this technology is so nice and so hot nowadays in our markets. What can I achieve by tagging assets? Locate assets on demand. That means if I want to, for example, the Apple TV in a school, where is the Apple TV? The Apple TV is in the shelf of the room in the fourth floor. Okay, that is easy for me to go to the fourth floor and get the Apple TV and use it instead of looking for it like, it's what it is. Track assets, protect assets. For example, if someone passes a specific choke point with a device that has a tag embedded, and this device is supposed to be only on the premise, you can protect your access by firing up an alarm or sending the cops or something like that. Monitor the usage of assets. For example, in a healthcare, where all the time they are using, for example, the IV pump. Where is the IV pump in here? How often do we use it? It's do we need another because it is pretty busy, or we are not using wisely trace assets? Where you are improve asset utilization probably by instead of sending the device to the storage at the end of the building or at the end of the floor, probably you can send it to the middle of the floor in a whatever room it is. And plan and manage your inventory. There is a lot of reasons you want to tag an asset or an object. But the question is, why should I want to tag people? There are reasons or examples. Let's say you want to locate people on demand. The most famous example is to locate doctor, where the doctor is. Protect and track people. For example, you have your kids in an amusement park or in a movie theater, and you want to feel comfortable with the idea that they are close by. Monitor people's movements. For example, one guy that is under a domiciliary arrest, you want to make sure that he's not leaving the property. Provide emergency response. Of course, as I said before, sadly, but it happens. Natural disasters, manage evacuations, police restricted areas, improve workflow. How's my people moving? It's a correct path, it's not the correct path. Do the departments are interrelated and they're working as expected, or should I come up with new ideas? Customer service. If you have read something about the RTLS, there is a specific example in a hospital that it says the waiting time is too long, and it's not because the ER, because there are enough doctors in ER. The problem is during the registration. There are sometimes only one people or person, and in the best cases, there are two for the bunch of cases without emergencies and that appear or that show up in the hospital. So there's a way to improve. Obviously, in that example, the thing is the customer is not satisfied at all with the hospital, so they came up with this idea to check with the RTLS what the times were, and identify that the problem was in the reception and not in the ER room. Improve the structure of the facilities. Examples, there is a bunch of why I want to tag people. Verticals. I said already that the most known verticals for RTLS are retail, healthcare, education, military, but there are others. RTLS can be deployed in pretty much all the places, pretty much everywhere. Mining, visitor information, research and development, manufacturing, automotive. Pretty much all the businesses today, nowadays, need to have real information, exact information at the exact moment and with the exact location to have better decisions. Okay. What are the parts of an RTLS system or RTLS technology if I follow my logistic? Sensors, I said that before, sensors, location sensors, tags, location engine, the middleware, and the application. Those are the five again. Tags, location sensor, location engine, middleware, and the application. It does not matter what RTLS system are you using, you will find at least these five important things to consider, or important parts of an RTLS system. So I want to apologize at this point because it's kind of late to say, but why? I already said a lot of times the word tag, but I didn't explain before what a tag is. And tag is a miniature device that is enabled with location technology. One consideration to have with them is that it has to be small enough to be attached or affixed to assets or carried by people. Can be screwed on the device, built in the device like the Wi-Fi cards, or it can be carried by badges, wristband, pendants, alcon bags, among many others. There are a lot of options of tags in the market nowadays. They come in three different form factors. Passive tags, probably not form factors, but they come with three different models. Passive tags, semi-passive tags, and active tags. The difference is who is going to send information to where. The location sensor or the sensor is going to locate or to sense me or to sense the tag and get information from it, or the tag is going to send information to the location sensor. If I decided to send information, I need the tag to have a battery embedded. And for battery embedded, we have two options, semi-passive or active tags. And it will depend on the application if the information that the tag will be sending is what frequency it uses. Is it 1 second, every 1 second, or every 30 seconds, or every minute? Obviously, as much information as I send, the battery's life is decreasing every time. So it's another point to consider when you are deploying, when you are designing for an RTLS system. So considering the ergonomics of tags and the batteries. So I already mentioned it. Size and shape is very important. You have to be sure that if you are going to affix a tag to a specific object, it does not interrupts the operation of the object. For example, a cell phone, you have to be sure that you are not blocking, for example, the speaker, right? Mounting options, you have to be sure that the tag is not to be abused, is not going to be removed, is not going to be break in some point. So be sure that if your object is able to support the tag that you are going to affix, pretty important. And speaking about the batteries, there are some questions that you have to ask yourself. How is going the battery be used? That means it's going to be used more frequently or less frequently. What type of battery is the most suitable for my application? It's a higher battery or a low battery. It matters all the time, because if your application is demanding uh, information every 1 second, you don't want to use low power batteries, because they are going to be dead pretty soon, and you have to come up with a management plan to or maintenance plan in order to replace the battery all the time. Probably it's pretty easy and you have your field people to doing so for you, but probably it's not. And the battery type, uh, attention needs to be taken, because if you decide to go for a battery that is vendor specific and it's not a standard battery, and for some reason this battery is not longer in the market, probably you will end up replacing all your solution uh, sooner than you expected. And the battery life, again, I said it, depending on your application, you need to analyze how often you need to send information to the location engine. What can tag do? And probably send information or to be sensed by a sensor monitor, but besides of that, they are able to measure the operating and the storage temperature, and let you know if there are a specific level or thresholds in which you need to take an action. For example, if one of the fridges got disconnected for some reason, got turned off, and the beef started defrosting, uh, you probably want to take care of it. The humidity, the vibration, the shock, depending on the application, you may want to the tag to interact with your system. So, but these are only just more examples. So it's important that the tag support telemetry. What is telemetry? Telemetry is the capability of a tag to sense and monitor the environmental conditions. If you are in that kind of market, or your customer is in that kind of market where the environmental conditions they are such important, then you want to take care of the telemetry. And more examples: application of telemetry, temperature, motion, humidity, chemical gases or radiation, pesticide detection, biosensor. This is not Wi-Fi. I'm a Wi-Fi guy, but in this case, I wanted to explore a little bit more and to see technologies that are hot, that are nice, that are right now on the market. So this is nothing to do with Wi-Fi, but it's nice to say, to know and to share with you. So making sense on location sensors. Where should I put or locate my sensor? Where do I put location sensors? Sorry, are devices within our RTLS system that typically have known position and detect the location tags. Imagine if my location sensor are mobile and my tags are mobile. uh, how could I know the reference point to say my device is in this room, or is in this building, or is even in this city? It's you need to deploy the location sensor in a specific part that will be used by you or by the customer as a point of reference. Okay, I will locate these sensors in next to the lift, or next to the elevator, or next to the stairs, or within this ER room, or whatever it is, but they are your location reference. So it's pretty important that you locate the sensors in a specific way that allows you to see, or to find, or to sense the tags. It does not matter where they are. It's when designing for an application like this, like the RTLS, is even harder that for designing for a voice or data or coverage or capacity in the Wi-Fi world. It has some extra challenges that you have to take into account. Depending on the technology, these sensors can be some devices that leverage the infrastructure. And that means if you have a Wi-Fi APs, you can use them. You can use them because Wi-Fi is one of the many options you have for RTLS. If the requirement of the customer is to have the location pretty accurate, probably you don't want to work with Wi-Fi. But if 7 to 10 meters is okay with the customer, you can leverage the infrastructure that is already deployed in the facility. The location of the sensors usually depends on the technology, the application, and the desired accuracy. I already said that. Yes, Master, of course you said that. So inspecting the location engine. The location engine is the software that communicates with the tags through the location sensors to determine the location of tags. Okay, that is kind of complicated to say, but let me put it this way. It's 1 and zeros. No, I'm teasing you. So if you want to locate the tag and the desired, I will give another example. The desired location or the accuracy of the location is, for example, 5 meters, and you have Wi-Fi in place. Probably you want this tag to be sensed or located by at least 3 APs, and this 3 AP, let's say that it's going to be located at least in minus 70 dBms. This location engine will collect the information sensed or registered or located by every sensor 1, 2, and 3. And this is going to concentrate the information and use one of the ranging techniques or the position estimation to calculate where the device is. Now, what is a ranging techniques? Okay, ranging techniques are those techniques that are used to determine where the tag and the object or the device is. And there are several options depending on the system you are using. Probably the most common is TOA, time of arrival, or TDOA, time differential of arrival. Probably you at this point already heard about them, and you probably don't. But if you have, you could be pretty familiar with the technology. But if not, I will leave them in here in this slide, so you can take your favorite browser and surf the web for more information. Remember that these slides are only for a high level explanation, just a glimpse, an introductory glimpse to the technology. So, what technologies or what other options do I have to deploy an RTLS system? I have a lot of underlying technologies: Bluetooth, building illumination, digital TV signal, GPS, infrared, passive. To be honest, when I started investigating this topic, I didn't even know what Ruby was. I didn't even hear about it before, but it turns out that Ruby is another technology that you can use for RTLS. At this point, I haven't explored it too much, but I know and I expect for you to know by now that you can go to internet and start looking for information. And probably Ruby is a good solution for your customer. Zigbee, Wi-Fi, it's another option, obviously. Understanding middleware is pretty much kind of the same, and this is my way to wrap up this session. Middleware is a generic term used to describe software that connects to disparate application. That means I will connect in one side the application or prepare the information to the application to be shown to the end user, customer, or decision maker, and on the other side to extract the information from the location service. The information in the location service is, for example, AP1 minus 70 dBs, AP2 minus 60 dBms, AP3 minus 75 dBms. What it means in terms of information for the customer, probably nothing. So I have to work on them to make them more useful information to present to the application, and the application to show to the customer what he wants to see. In the case of RTLS, middleware resides among the pure RTLS technology components. So it's all of this. And other topics that I decided to refresh or to make important if you got to this point, and I think to that, other things that you want to explore are tags, type of tags, ergonomics of tags, if they use battery or not, if they are more well designed for one specific application or the other, the location sensor and the location engine management. You want to be aware of all of this. Location data management. What are you going to do with this information? Application integration. The application could be a web browser, for example, an application in your cell phone, a homemade application, or a local application developed by your business. And pretty important as well to consider the architecture scalability and the administration of the architecture. At this point, again, I have to emphasize that my intention is to show you a high level what an RTLS system is, what are the components, what some caveats, and what are the underlying technologies, and give you some names or definitions that can help you to make it happen at a beginner level. If you need more information for your customer or for a specific deployment, or if you only are lover of the technology and want to learn more, I can reference you to this specific book that is the one which I use for pretty much all the information. It was written by Ajay Malik. Hopefully I say the name clear. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good book if you want to get started. It's not for advanced users, but it has a lot of interesting stuff. And I want to encourage you guys to download it, to buy it, and to start learning more about this nice, hot, and pretty interesting technology. That is all from my side. Hopefully you enjoy, and see you next time.